forget the first disappointing year, Manchester United fans will get to see the very best of Alexis Sanchez, according to the man who coached the Chilean when he was at the height of his powers. One-time Barcelona forward and ex-Chile coach Juan Antonio Pizzi managed Sanchez when he won Player of the Tournament as Chile won the Copa America in 2016. Ahead of taking Saudi Arabia into the month-long Asia Cup that kicks off on Saturday in the United Arab Emirates, Pizzi spoke exclusively to Sportsmail about 30-year-old Sanchez. He also spoke fondly of playing for Sir Bobby Robson at Barcelona, while Jose Mourinho cut his teeth as his assistant and Pep Guardiola pulled the strings in midfield. Alexis had been delivering season after season since his arrival in Europe, said Pizzi, echoing the sentiments of Gary Neville this week, that the former Udinese, Barcelona, and Arsenal forward had not become a bad player overnight. First of all, he has to properly recover from the injury, get completely right physically, and he has to believe again in his qualities. Not being able to perform at the same level as he was before could have given him certain doubts, and then if you add the injuries, then you end up with bigger doubts. The results that United have had in the last few weeks are going to help him get back that confidence, and from then he will have to push himself to reach the levels of performance that everyone knows he is capable of. Good players always find their level again. I am convinced that Alexis has the quality to deliver for any team in the world, and sooner or later he will be showing what he is capable of and become a very important player for Manchester United. Pizzi, a veteran of not just winning the Copa America with Chile, but of winning the league in Argentina, the league in Chile, and taking the Chile national side to the final of the Confederations Cup, said Alexis would thrive if giving the freedom to hurt opposition defenses, but he also defended his work ethic. He said, "We believed he needed a certain amount of freedom to really exploit his speed and his skill. His ability to arrive in that center-forward position from deeper to surprise the opposition was something we capitalized on." But in all our formations we always needed players to offer something defensively as well, and he was always able to do that. He always worked hard and was able to protect the areas of the pitch that we wanted him to defend. He was easy to coach in that respect because he was so professional. Pizzi would love to have an Alexis Sanchez to call on now as he tries to emulate his success in the Copa America with Chile in the Asia Cup. He coached Saudi Arabia to victory in their last World Cup game against Mohamed Salah's Egypt last summer in Russia. He believes participation in that tournament will be an advantage for sides trying to reach the February 1 final in Abu Dhabi. He says the teams who were in Russia have an advantage because of that recent experience of playing in such an important tournament, so Japan, Australia, Iran, and South Korea are principal candidates. He looks set to return to club management after the Asia Cup, with La Liga and England his likely destinations. If he arrives in England, he will draw from the experience of playing under Sir Bobby Robson at Barcelona in the 1996-97 season. He won the Cup Winners' Cup, the Spanish Super Cup and the Copa del Rey under Robson, scoring the winning goal in an extraordinary 5-4 quarter-final victory over Atletico Madrid en route to the Copa del Rey final. Barca had trailed 3-0 at the break. We talked a lot about English football because it didn't have the repercussions outside of England that it has now, he says of his time with Robson. We knew about Manchester United and about Alex Ferguson, but it didn't have the transcendence it has now as probably the best league in the world with the best coaches and the best players. We talked a lot about how people experience football there and the passion of English football. I played under Bobby and with Jose Mourinho as his assistant and with Pep Guardiola as a teammate. You learn from everyone and you try to soak up all the knowledge. They didn't have the transcendence that they have now, but already they had things that you wanted to soak up and use. And of course, that applied most to Bobby at the time. He came to Barcelona at a very difficult stage after previous coach, Johan Cruyff. It was a complex situation because Barca's football was so identified with Johan. But despite that, he convinced us that we could go on winning things. We ended up having a very successful season, and that was down to the calm and the patience that Bobby had in the way he taught us. Pizzi also played for Tenerife and finished La Liga's top scorer in the 95-96 season. He also played for and later coached Valencia, leading them to a Europa League semi-final, where he was beaten by a Sevilla side managed by Unai Emery. We were winning 3-0, but they scored late on to put them through, he says. Emery's move to Arsenal doesn't surprise me because he showed he was capable of managing a club abroad at Moscow and in Paris. Asia Cup 2014 tournament might not include too many household playing names, but there will be no shortage of top managers involved in the month-long championship. Sven-Goran Eriksson is in charge of the Philippines and Marcelo Lippi is head coach of China. Former Portugal boss Paulo Bento manages South Korea. Host nation UAE have former Milan coach Alberto Zaccheroni in charge, and the longest-serving coach in the tournament will be former Manchester United number 2 Carlos Queiroz, who leads one of the favourites, Iran. The tournament's top player should be Tottenham's South Korea forward Son Heung-min, who is due to join up with the rest of the squad before their final group game against China. He has won Europa Leagues and he had a good season in Paris with the League and Cup. He showed he was ready to take over at one of the biggest clubs in the world such as Arsenal. coaches arriving to England from Spain have tended to enjoy success. Does he know why? And will he be the next to make the move? They have adapted well to their new surroundings and got to know the strengths and weakness very quickly, he says. Having good communication is key. You have to work to get a good level of English, but the fact that it is a universal language makes it comparatively straightforward to learn. Football tends to take you where it wants to more than where you want to, but for any coach who ends up coaching there, it's a source of great pride. I was lucky enough to experience leaving Argentina very young, and that gives you a confidence to be brave and embrace a new environment and get the best out of it. First, it's the Asia Cup Challenge. I've been in the job for more than a year now, and that enables you to know the virtues and the shortcomings of the team, and you have a better idea of how they will respond, he says. Winning our last game in Russia should strengthen our confidence. We got over the adversity of the first result, a 5-0 defeat to Russia. It's always a very different game when you play the hosts in the inaugural match. Then we had to face the best team in the group and players such as Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani. But we ended up with a win over a team that had one of the best players in the world, Mohamed Salah, in it. His success with Chile will serve him well too. We have to live in the present, but everyone who was part of that success, obviously it stays with you. That must go for Pizzi and for United's fit again forward Alexis too. Asia Cup schedule January 5, Group A, UAE v Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, 1600, January 6. Group B, Australia v Jordan, Al Ain, 1100, Group A, Thailand v India, Abu Dhabi, 1330, Group B, Syria v Palestine, Sharjah, 1600, January 7. Group C, China v Kyrgyzstan, Al Ain, 1100, Group C, South Korea v Philippines, Dubai, 1330, Group D, Iran v Yemen, Abu Dhabi, 1600, January 8. Group D, Iraq v Vietnam, Abu Dhabi, 1130, Group E, Saudi Arabia v North Korea, Dubai, 1600, January 9. Group F, Japan v Turkmenistan, Abu Dhabi, 1100, Group F, Uzbekistan v Oman, Sharjah, 1330, Group E, Qatar v Lebanon, Al Ain, 1600, January 10. Bahrain v Thailand, Dubai, 1100, India v UAE, Abu Dhabi, 1330, Jordan v Syria, Al Ain, 1600, January 11. Palestine v Australia, Dubai, 1100, Philippines v China, Abu Dhabi, 1330, Kyrgyzstan v South Korea, Al Ain, 1600, January 12. Vietnam v Iran, Abu Dhabi, 1100, Yemen v Iraq, Sharjah, 1330, Lebanon v Saudi Arabia, Dubai, 1600, January 13. North Korea v Qatar, Al Ain, 1100, Oman v Japan, Abu Dhabi, 1330, Turkmenistan v Uzbekistan, Dubai, 1600, January 14. UAE v Thailand, Al Ain, 1600, India v Bahrain, Sharjah, 1600, January 15. Australia v Syria, Al Ain, 1330, Palestine v Jordan, Abu Dhabi, 1330, January 16. South Korea v China, Abu Dhabi, 1330, Kyrgyzstan v Philippines, Dubai, 1330, Vietnam v Yemen, Al Ain, 2000, Iran v Iraq, Dubai, 2000, January 17, Oman v Turkmenistan, Abu Dhabi, 1330, Japan v Uzbekistan, Al Ain, 1330, Saudi Arabia v Qatar, Abu Dhabi, 2000, Lebanon v North Korea, Sharjah, 2000 January 20. First Group B v Third Group A C D, Sharjah, 1100. Second Group A v Second Group C, Al Ain, 1400. First Group D v Third Group B F, Abu Dhabi, 1900 January 21. First Group F v Second Group E, Sharjah, 1100. Second Group B v Second Group F, Al Ain, 1400. First Group A v Third Group C D E, Abu Dhabi, 1900 January 22. First Group C v Third Group ABF, Dubai, 1300. First Group E v Second Group D, Abu Dhabi, 1600 January 24. Quarter-final 1, Dubai, 1300. Quarter-final 2, Abu Dhabi, 1600 number January 25. Quarter-final 3, Abu Dhabi, 1300. Quarter-final 4, Al Ain, 1600, January 28. Semi-final 1, Al Ain, 1400 January 29. Semi-final 2, Abu Dhabi, 1400 February 1. Final, Abu Dhabi, 1400.